This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Here.
Councilmember Sims?
Here.
Councilmember Greenman?
Here.
Mayor LaBrus?
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stand like a Marine. I know.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the COW session and closed session for January 6, 2015, and the regular meeting for January 7, 2015, please.
I'll offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Nay.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Okay, city manager's report, please.
Certainly. First item is a local aid infrastructure funding grant, NJDOT of $750,000. That was received on behalf of the county for the Midtown Bridge structural repair, which links Hackensack and Pagoda. I believe Senator Weinberg had a lot of input on that, and we appreciate that funding. That obviously is good for the county, and it's actually good for Hackensack and for Pagoda. It links our two communities together in a way that it should be. We have secured the summer concert series lineup as discussed at the last meeting. The Infernos are for July 4th, and I am negligent in knowing the other three, but I'm sure the mayor knows them, and I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Let's see, you have the Duprees. I'm not sure the dates on this, but the grouping is the Duprees. You have the Time Machine. The other group is a Motown group. So there might be one other one in there too. And Filet of Soul in there also? And Filet of Soul.
The redevelopment news, we are working and very diligently on the rehabilitation plan. The city is considering other sites for redevelopment, particularly the record site, which is a pivotal piece that you've heard the mayor and deputy mayor and other council members talk about. We are also, as I reported at the last meeting, we're also working with the state of New Jersey for transit village designation for the main portion of the rehab zone. We continually meet with new developers and new interest in investing in the city of Hackensack, which is good. Hackensack is a good place to be. And we're going to make Billy Joel eat his words.
Amen.
Number 4 is the Hackensack Wellness Challenge kickoff, which is actually going on this evening. I have signed up. I will attempt to lose the weight that I've gained since accepting this job about 5 months ago. I won't tell you how much, but it needs to come off. So I challenge all Hackensack residents and visitors to sign up with the challenge. There'll be a weekly or bi-weekly weigh-in. Their Hackensack University Medical Center is currently at the Civic Center, along with other groups. There's a Zumba group there. Zumba meets, I believe, every week.
Every night.
Every night at the Civic Center. So if you want to go have some fun and work on yourself, because I'm optimistic, because summer is right around the corner, and I want to look good in my bathing suit. That ends my report.
I thank you for that, except for maybe the last 30 seconds. Okay. Resolution 56-15.
Is a resolution for the final adoption of ordinance number 2-2015, an ordinance amending Part 2 of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code, Chapter 170, Section 23, entitled Turns at Intersections, and Section 64, entitled Schedule 15, Prohibited Turns at Intersections. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay. This time, anybody from the public, or may I have a motion open to the public, please?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. At this time, any member of the public who'd like to speak on this ordinance, and this ordinance only, please come forward. Give your name and address to the clerk.
Hackensack. This is 15.
Yes. 56-15.
You're out of breath.
That's okay. 56-15, the first ordinance.
We got to stopping making these no turns on red, just for gas mileage. There's too many of them. Went through a whole thing to get turn on red, and it was for a purpose: keep traffic moving, clean up the air, better gas mileage for the environment. And the law stop. I don't know the law, but I think it goes, when the light's red, stop, and you can turn on red. That should be the end of it. If it's a busy intersection, they're not supposed to go. You got laws on top of laws. I personally would do away with all these insignificant ordinances. Number two, who's going to enforce it? And people turn, when it says no turn on red, they go through it. You gotta simplify life in America, not complicate it. I would do away with all these simple ordinances. We have a law. Right turn on red, come to a full stop, which they don't do anyway, and then you can turn if nobody's coming. Simple. If it's a busy traffic intersection, the idiot's gonna go anyway. People in cars don't obey, might obey maybe 50% of the laws.
Lenny, if I could interrupt, I know if you're aware of this, because you came in a little, I don't know if you're aware if you came in a little late, but this is restricting large vehicles. It's based on, not all vehicles, large vehicles down on Vreeland Avenue from making the right turn down there, because we've had some issues down there. This isn't really all cars.
Okay, well, I was just there today.
Mm-hmm.
Large tractor, I'm a tractor trailer driver. Large tractor trailer waited, made the turn. Large tractor trailer driver has the same laws as everybody else.
Now, they have weight limits.
I don't understand what the purpose of this. And the large vehicles means that large vehicle has to be number one in line. If he's number two, he can't make the, well, I guess the number one makes the, first of all, that's only really complicated the issue. I'd like to know, I'll have to go down and see what the sign says. Because I never saw a sign that said, whatever this sign's gonna say, no, what is this sign gonna say?
It'll prohibit vehicles of 10 tons or more from making a right-hand turn.
Period.
You know,
period.
You know what, I was a truck
It's not just
driver.
right on red, it's period. They can't turn there. We don't want them going down that street.
What are they supposed to do?
They're going to have to take a different route. We're trying to reroute them.
Well, there's no different route. You gotta make a left. And then what does he do if he's gotta go? If he's gotta go right, then what does he do? I'm a truck driver. I drove the city when it was a disaster. Tractor trailer in the city. What is he gonna do after we don't make this? He's getting off 80. This guy's coming from Omaha, Nebraska. He's got a .com Google that says get off exit 66, I think it is, and you're in Hackensack, New Jersey. Go to the light, make a right. Go to Route 46 or go to a truck. So you're taking this guy from Omaha, Nebraska, and sending him driving around town, up Hudson Street with, I don't know what it's alleviating. That way is even worse, Hudson Street. Then once he starts making turns in Hudson Street, God knows what the heck he's going to do. So I know Kathleen DeSalvo was in on this. God bless her. I tried to talk to her numerous times, yelling and screaming at you on the phone. You can't tell her nothing, probably just like you can't tell me nothing. But once you got something in her head, she's going to stick with it till the day she dies.
I would love to see you two guys debate this.
What?
I would like to see you two debate this.
It would be, it would not fit under the First Amendment.
But not here. I would like to see it at
Be in
another
closed
place.
doors.
That's okay.
And I just said yes, yes, yes on this.
I understand your
Now I
point,
know
but
she's in Florida.
I need to, let me just make a point.
She's in New York.
Let me make a point on this. And I understand your GPS theory, and I was in Newark using my GPS, and the GPS told me to turn left. And I noticed as I was beginning to turn left that I would be going the opposite direction on a one-way street. Had I made that turn, I'm still liable for my driving.
So is Google.
Well, that's a hard one to prove, but I know the ticket's going to come to me, not to Google.
Yeah, well, you just counter-sue them. I do it all the time. Now, I'm serious. The guy's making a left onto Hudson Street from Omaha, Nebraska. Let's not, we're making these things worse. Unless you're gonna say no left, and then, you gotta do a truck detour. And that's the way you do it, truck detour. Make a left, then you gotta put another sign, make a right by Massiones if you get through that disaster, that street, Haiti.
Well, this came about because there were concerned citizens brought it to the council. We did a traffic study, traffic did a study down there, and this was what came out of it.
Well,
And this is the
I disagree with everybody.
final reading. I understand that, you're
And as a
allowed to
truck
disagree.
driver, now, and I wasn't driving 55 feet, I was driving 40, that was the limit back then. And we weren't driving cabs like they got today. They're probably doing 65, some of them are probably doing 80 feet. You can this guy made that turn when he had I don't even know what this is all about, to be honest with you. I'll tell you what it's about. No, I take that back. The reason she doesn't want to turn there is not traffic, because when the trucks make the right turn, they hit the corner sidewalk. The corner sidewalk was moved to make it a double lane.
It's very tight, but this wasn't brought forward by Mrs. Salvo. This was brought forward by other citizens at the first ward
And what was their
meeting.
reason?
It's
they
dangerous when you make the turns. If you're near the sidewalk, you're going to get run over. That was basically it.
Well,
It was a
you're
safety
gonna get
concern.
run over any place in town, you know that.
Yeah.
I mean, people go off the.
We're trying to help that not happen.
Yeah, but you know what? You can drive a truck, you can make that. I drove in New York City, okay? If you're a truck driver, you're gonna make that turn. If you ain't a truck driver, you can put as many signs as you want. Chances are you're gonna kill someone from between here and Omaha. You either drive a truck, you're all supposed to be CDL, and we didn't have no CDL. We didn't have nothing, we were driving trucks. You were 18, I was a truck driver. Up and down the coast, Florida to Maine. I didn't know nothing outside
Okay,
of New Jersey.
let's
But
get back.
Well, you wanna,
Oh, I want to get back to the ordinance.
yeah, well, I'm telling you.
I wanna stick to
If a truck, well, and suppose he makes the right turn.
Well, if there's a policeman there who'll enforce the law, if not, he's going to get away with it.
And well, how much is the ticket gonna be?
I have no idea.
But you're telling a guy
It
from
costs-
Omaha, Nebraska, or any other, even a local guy or someone from the city, welcome to Hackensack. Thank you for delivering us medical supplies. We're gonna give you a ticket.
If you make a turn on
But you know
that street
what?
after this ordinance is
That would
passed,
piss me
yes.
off. And driving a truck, you don't wanna piss them guys off. Because the next time you need something, that truck driver ain't coming. I was at 560 Teamsters. You know what 560 did to this country. And I'll tell you, if anybody votes for this, they have no idea what they're, I know they don't have no idea what they're voting for. If you're trying to save people on a sidewalk from truck drivers making a right turn, then you better do it on every corner in Hackensack,
Lenny,
state of New Jersey. It's a stupid ordinance.
Mr. Nix, it was brought to our attention by concerned citizens. We did a traffic study. We're going with the advice of the traffic study. That's it.
Who did the traffic study?
Our police department. And I don't know if it was Boswell.
No offense,
Boswell was in on this.
no offense to the traffic study, police department, but they come up with some weird traffic studies and lack of
Okay.
traffic studies, okay? They need a little bit of, input.
All right, that's,
This is a stupid ordinance.
thank you. Anybody else like to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none, motion to
We're the
close?
citizens that vote for it.
Motion to close?
They don't even care.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Now you need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt this ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 2-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 57-15.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 3-2015, an ordinance amending and restating ordinance number 4-2007, which provides for sewer connection fees, heretofore finally adopted by the City Council of the City of Hackensack in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to amend the description set forth therein. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay, may I have a motion to open to the public, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. At this time, anybody from the public who'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sean McGowan. I'm Director of Approvals for Meridia LLC and Capadaglia Property Company.
I didn't hear that.
I'm Director of Approvals for Meridia LLC and Capadaglia Property Company. We are currently building a 200-plus unit building at State and Warren Street. We just learned of this ordinance yesterday, and I urge the council to table it for further discussion amongst the development community in Hackensack. We think that the mayor and council have done a great job in attracting developers to the city. We're very excited to be here, and we're actively looking at several other projects within the city. That being said, we wouldn't want to see the momentum that the council has created be halted in any way, shape, or form, or even cut back with this ordinance. We have several other projects throughout the state, and we're already paying the most in Hackensack for our sewer connection fees. Not only do we have to pay Hackensack, but we need to pay the Bergen County Utilities Authority as well. And when you combine the two fees, it's greater than any other city that we're building in the state. This is going to essentially almost double the amount that we have to pay. And, again, I would urge you to table it for further discussion amongst developers currently building in the city and looking at further development. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak on this ordinance?
Yes, good evening, council and mayor. I'd like to know how much are the fees for a home, the homeowners? I didn't see it.
Residential is different. I'm not sure of that right now. Do you know that, Dave?
Let me just look at the ordinance a minute.
This is only for new development. You should know that.
There's no, if you have an existing
This is
unit,
only
this is only for new construction.
Oh,
new construction, new
There's no-
development first.
Yeah, you pay your sewers through your taxes.
okay, thank you.
Right.
No, Sandra. Some other daughter.
Where's Margaret? Home? Tell her I said hi. I agree with the gentleman wholeheartedly. we're in a big sewer problem, $100 million from the Z's administration. And we're always trying to do quick fixes. And, you know, some of this stuff is way out of the city's hands and the county's hands and political hands, to be bluntly. I am a big fan of people voting on things they know about. I didn't vote for years because I didn't know about politics when I came out of the Army. I started to vote and I stopped voting again because I have no idea where the politicians stand. We're at, and I brought it up last night, this is the best time I've ever seen the city of Hackensack be in, with the climate of building, with Bergen County, Hackensack being the only place left, and the cities in general, that can be developed as a city. There's no other place in Bergen County where this council, you can get little advice, but this council has to become the go-to guys. And the only place you compare ourselves to is Patterson and, well, North's too big, but Patterson. And Patterson's a city, and I've worked on projects 40 years ago in Patterson, redevelopment, and I've seen the corruption and shenanigans. And Patterson and Hackensack is going to be a designated spot pretty soon. We have everything in place, the rails, the transportation. The sewer problem is not really our problem. It's a county problem. Everybody that comes to the city of Hackensack for county business, the county should pay, if not all of it, a big chunk of it, for all the services that we take in Hackensack. The jail, the homeless shelter, the courthouse, and on and on and on. All the non-profit organizations we have in Hackensack, that are county organizations, community action. We deserve something from the citizens of Bergen County, which all of them, they're all on top shelf. There is no other town hurting like Hackensack. Alpine, Fort Lee, you want to help them? River Edge, the project they did in River Edge on Kinnecamack Road is a maxed out. They couldn't spend more money if they wanted to. Bergen County and the citizens of Hackensack, oh Hackensack, let them pay for the sewers. Not guys like this that come into Hackensack when nobody was coming into Hackensack. I heard that application 5 years ago. I said it's going no place. You know what? It's up. And give him credit. I hope he makes $1 million, $10 million. Because we have people in Hackensack, Cinzari, Akamian, all the big shots. They ain't here. This guy, I don't know where he came from, but I've seen that building. It's not done yet, but it's beautiful. And that's what we need, more people like him in Hackensack. Forget the big shots in Hackensack. They made their money. They're going other places now. Dave Cinzari made his money. He's going to Teaneck tomorrow night. I'll be at the meeting. He's building a hotel in Teaneck. Why not Hackensack? No, because he got a redevelopment plan where it's building into the courthouse. Sure, he chips in money, That's not his money. It's tax write-offs. The citizens of Hackensack, everyone, all 800,000 of them, deserve to pay for our sewers because we do more for the county than any other town in Bergen County. I think I agree with the gentleman 200%. Don't let him pay for problems that we cause. Let him come in and if he's going to build another project, I stand behind him because he's up and running. I go by that project. It's clean. No shenanigans. That place was a total disaster. Let the man ride with that man, and let's start thinking, and we, the people of Bergen County, owe Hackensack. We were the county seat at one time. Everybody came here.
Still are. Yes. Anybody else want to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. I'd like to make some comments on this. I'm sure any other council member is welcome to make comments on this ordinance.
After you vote?
We didn't vote yet.
We didn't vote yet. I want to make comments beforehand on why we may be voting on this. A lot of thought went into this, a lot of studies went into it, a lot of people, you must realize that the rehabilitation plan, which is approved by the state of New Jersey, one of the contingencies of that, or requirements, is that we separate our sewer in 3 different phases in the area. It's a very expensive project. It has a lot to do, and part of the rehabilitation plan, which also allows for opportunities and changes of zoning and everything else so that these developers can really take advantage of it, or because this plan is there. The formula for formulating this was based on a formula, actually, I'll let the deputy mayor in a minute go into that because she's on top of that more than I am, is how we came up with this. The most important part is Mr. Nix commented that the county should be paying for this. The county's not going to pay for this. Right? This is the city of Hackensack. The Hackensack citizens are going to pay for their sewers to be done. We are being pressured by the the federal government to get this done through the state. It's a requirement. We're one of the lucky towns who haven't been fined because we're doing something about it. Most towns are doing nothing about their sewers. I understand this is a big jump, but we're still under the norm for a lot of towns and especially in Bergen County. I do realize, I mean, every town in Bergen County, if you're doing new development, you're paying the BCUA. I don't think any town has its own sewer commission. I think everybody goes through the county now. So no matter what town you're building in, you're paying the BCUA. We based it also comparisons to other towns to see, how it measured up, and we're still below quite a few of them, if I'm not mistaken.
We are below the majority or equal to. There's 2 fees. There's the Bergen County Municipal Utilities fee, but we are also charged with maintaining and continuing to maintain the system that we have, which is the reason for being proactive to have a fund. These monies will be put in a reserve fund. It will not be in the general fund. It'll be used for sewer upkeep, sewer expansion when necessary, fixing the combined sewer issue. It's based on criteria from the state of New Jersey. It's also based on other ordinances that have other cities that do redevelopment. So we have looked at other cities that are doing redevelopment, and our fees are addressing our individual needs, but also taking into effect the other costs. I have heard from some of the developers as recent as today calling up with concerns. One of the things that I have done previously in another community that I worked is when larger developments occur, you can phase the payment of sewer fees over a period of like 5 years. Because usually the fees are collected at the time of CO. So we will be doing that analysis, and just because you're passing it tonight, that does not mean that staff will not provide additional information to have you look at it and weigh in. Do you want to provide a payment over a scheduled payment over a period of years based on the size of the development?
I lost the whole thing.
Please, Mr. Nix, you had your time.
Yeah, but when somebody starts talking like that, and you lose the public.
I don't think he lost the public. I'd like to hear from the deputy mayor. Mr. Nix, please.
Right. Basically, to summarize this thing, I mean, there's 2 reasons that we need to go forward and make changes to our sewer separation.
Mr. Nix, please.
Mr. Nix, please. We let you speak. It's my turn. One of them is the fact, as the mayor stated, that the basis of us acquiring the rehabilitation zone, and based on a rehabilitation plan, was the conditions of our sewers allowed us to pursue that. And contingent upon that is that we are going to take steps to remedy that situation. And the second contributing cause is what's going on as far as polluting and the overflow going into the Hackensack River, and the requirements now by the government that we look into means to stop that from happening. So by going forward with this three-phase sewer approach, which was laid out very clearly in the rehabilitation plan, we are meeting both of those needs. We did not come up with this figure, we did not pull it out of the air. We were very, very careful in how we arrived at this figure. Number one, we looked at other towns, and we looked at the fact that our sewer connection fee had not been looked at or revisited in many, 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 many years here in town. And we were very low compared to a lot of the other towns. Then, fortunately for us, the state provides a formula, all right, where if you're a town and you want to look at your sewer fees, there's a formula that you can use that they provide that helps you analyze, and a lot of it is based on the debt service that you need to incur to make these repairs, what those sewer fees should be. This was not done by one of us. This was done by Boswell Engineering. A lot of time and effort went into that, and we have all of that backup data should anyone wish to see it. And that information all came together for a fee, a connection fee of $2,500. And that's why we're proposing that, and that's why we're planning to implement that. I certainly understand the concern of Mr. Capadaglia's development staff that's here. We want to encourage development activities absolutely in this town. Mr. Nix is 100% right that we are moving forward. We have a lot of great things happening in the town right now, and as the city manager alluded to a few minutes ago, we will work together with the developers to make this work. And you know, he said he's had success in doing this in a phased approach if it can't all be afforded at once. And these are the things that we'll certainly take into consideration. But we think we have it very factually analyzed and the data to support it. And I personally support us going forward with this. Thank you.
Okay. Motion to adopt.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 3-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Okay. Resolution 58-15.
This is a resolution for, it's a final adoption of ordinance number 4-2015, an ordinance fixing and determining municipal class position titles and salary ranges for certain contractual and non-contractual officers and employees of the City of Hackensack. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
I have a motion open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. At this time, anybody who'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward.
Evening.
Evening, sir.
Richard Salk in Hackensack, New Jersey. The non-contractual employees, is there a percentage built into the ordinance, the increase you're going to be giving them? That's normally what's done. Is that in this?
I will defer to the city manager on that.
There is a percent increase built in, however, we got to obviously wait for the budget, and depending on what the council authorizes.
Okay.
So,
I'm not trying to, no.
no,
Okay. No problem.
I built in a potential, whether it's all met.
Fair enough. Say no more. Say no more. Thank you. Okay.
I like to be optimistic.
Is that good for the workers or bad, Mr. Trost?
Depends on how you look at it.
I don't know. All right. With respect to the ordinance, I noticed there's some positions that remain in there that I do not think exist anymore. You have the purchasing director, and I think that's been absorbed by the CFO. He doesn't get a separate stipend for that, does he?
I'll answer that. No, there's not. That doesn't mean that you don't have titles in an ordinance that you don't fill.
Okay.
You can have extra titles in an ordinance.
Oh, no, I understand
Yeah,
that,
but no, Mr. Our CFO covers that task, and by the way, he does not get a stipend for that.
That's what I asked, thank you.
No.
Well, this is interesting.
Does he deserve one? Yes, he does.
I doubt it.
No, thank you. Mr.
Okay.
Stoll can continue, please.
I noticed there's an absence of the Director of Economic Development position salary. I don't think it's ever been in this ordinance. I'm sorry, John, but could you please
Yes.
ask Mr. Nix?
Mr. Nix,
What ordinance is this?
Mr. Nix, somebody else is at the podium.
What ordinance is this?
This is ordinance 58-15.
The salary ordinance, the annual salary ordinance.
What happened to the microbrewery?
It's next, Lenny, please.
It's before
You're
the
taking away from this
microbrewery.
gentleman's time.
Oh,
Want me to answer that?
Please.
What are you answering? What did I-
You want to know where the Director of Economic Development is?
I do.
That has been embodied in my title as
Okay.
city manager.
Okay. Do you have, along those lines, since that ordinance was created, that ordinance at one time position was filled, I don't think you're ever going to fill that position again. Shouldn't that ordinance be repealed? I know it's a little bit off topic, but it pertains to.
It's possible. It's,
Okay.
yeah,
You
it's
might wanna
not
give-
there. It's,
I think when I speak
I
later.
understand your point.
There's some debris you ought to clean up, and I don't mean that sarcastically. But
I understand that.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the information, Mr. Strauss.
You're welcome.
Anyone else on this? Seeing none, motion to close? Oh,
yeah, how much have the salaries increased from last year? The
It depends on what.
excuse me, but that's not relevant to this ordinance. This ordinance is about setting up guidelines for
Minimums and maximums.
minimums and maximums of salaries for employees of this city,
well, I'm just.
not on last year's numbers.
Well, I'm just curious to see if the salaries have gone up 100,000 from last year, 210 million.
I will try to answer that. Currently, we are under contract with, this year, every union in the city. The contract is either expired or will expire this year. So I cannot answer that question in its total. The budget has not been passed, so the non-contractuals, the salary has not been decided by the city council. If there is an increase, then there will be a certain amount of money allotted to me as the city manager, which then I will delve out as I see fit based on the evaluations done by the department heads.
What do you call it, personnel payroll? How much has that, when did you become city manager?
I believe it was September, I'm going to say 19 or 18 of 2014. So it's about 5 months ago, Mr. Nix.
Do you know how much the payroll has increased in the last 3 years, 4 years?
The overall payroll of the whole city?
Yeah,
I can't answer that to you right now.
I mean, for whatever you're voting on here. Who would have an answer to that? Is it anybody on the council?
It's not a relevant question. This isn't about what people are making right now. This is setting guidelines for
I
what they can
understand
make.
that, Mr. Leborowski, but before we start setting limits, you know, I would want to know how much.
This is,
I would have said
what this is, what you're seeing before you is a cleanup of a salary ordinance that hasn't been looked at in a while. A lot of the numbers were incorrect, and we had to address it, and took a lot of time and effort to do it, but it's
I don't
before
care
us
how
now.
much time and effort it takes anybody, the whole thing is results. You can spend 100 days painting a wall, and it doesn't come out right.
I'm just looking for a relevant question
Yeah,
compared
well, relevant question
to the
is-
guidelines. You're asking
Yeah,
what
well,
people
when
are
it comes-
making. Nobody's making more or less than what's within this guideline.
Well, some of them shouldn't even be working here, if you ask me.
That's
And the
irrelevant to
reason-
this ordinance.
The reason I'm talking about this, any payroll ordinance, is because the state owes $83 billion in the pension funds. And it's gonna take everybody in government to figure out how we're gonna pay for that. And if we keep giving these people astronaut, there's a lot of people getting overpaid in the city.
Thank you. Anybody else on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Seeing none, motion to close to the public.
Pay our pension.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Are we just closing to the public?
Just closing to the public.
Yes.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. And at this time, any council members want to speak on this? Anybody? I want to give the city manager and our CFO, Jim Mangan, a lot of, some kudos on this. It was something that needed to be addressed. We had, this hadn't been looked at in a while. There were positions that needed to be eliminated or changed. I mean, you know.
Well, civil service did a wonderful thing and changed a bunch of titles
Job
around,
titles,
too.
right.
So it was a very interesting challenge.
Right. No, but I thank you guys for that. Appreciate it. Motion to adopt.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Nay.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 4-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 59-15.
This is the final adoption of ordinance number 5-2015, an ordinance amending Chapter 175 permitting certain alcohol manufacturing processes, microbrewery in M1, M2, and rehabilitation area zone districts. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
May I have a motion open to the public, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. At this time, anybody would like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come to the podium, give your name and address to the clerk.
There's a plan someplace. If Hackensack wants to move forward, you have to have some kind of plan. It ain't happening. We're gonna go the same thing. But this microbrewery and any other projects that come in front of Hackensack, you should try to base it around some historic significance. And if the microbrewery comes in, a name like some historic value would be nice to mention. You can't tell them what the name, but something like, well, Chief Ortan, who you sit right under, mayor, and every mayor sat underneath him. That's what we're missing in Hackensack. We gotta get back to where we were, and where we were was historic. And I could go on and on and on with the Main and Mercer project. That's a disaster.
I must say, I actually like that idea.
Watch out, Chief Ortan behind you.
I see him.
Got to make sure you don't have too much Chief Ortan, too.
Anybody else like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Seeing none, motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Any comments on this? I actually like the idea of, yeah, and like Mr. Nick said, you can't tell anybody what to name their product, but I certainly like the idea of it having a Hackensack tone to it. So thank you for that, Mr. Nix.
Well, maybe after you, I guess.
No, not for me, but for Hackensack, that would be good. Okay, Resolution 60-15.
I'm sorry, Mayor, you need a motion to adopt.
Oh, I'm sorry, motion to adopt. My bad. I was thinking of the beer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 5-2015 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Resolution 60-15.
It is an introduction of ordinance number 6-2015, an ordinance amending Part 2 entitled General Legislation, Chapter 170, entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code to amend Section 50 entitled Schedule 1, No Parking, Section 51 entitled Schedule 2, No Parking Certain Hours, Section 53 entitled Schedule 4, Time Limit Parking. Need a motion.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 6-2015 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 10th, 2015 at 8:00 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 61-15.
Before we start on that?
Yes, please.
It has to be amended to 350,000 versus the 290,000, as I reported at the Cal meeting last night.
Okay, did everybody hear that in the audience?
The ordinance 07-215 will be amended to the amount of 350,000.
The 290 to 350, yes, David?
Yes.
290 to 350.
Thank you, Mr. Mangan. I had a question on it.
What is this?
So you responded to it before I had a chance to ask. Appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I did.
Okay.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep, so you can proceed as long as you proceed by,
You gotta talk into the mic.
you can proceed as long as you would amend it to 350 versus the 290, Mayor.
Okay, proceed.
This is an introduction of ordinance number 7-2015, a capital ordinance of the City of Hackensack and the County of Bergen, New Jersey, authorizing an ordinance for the spray ground improvement at Carver Park and appropriating $350,000, providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the fund balance of the general capital fund of the City of Hackensack.
Can I need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 7-2015 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and the said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 10th, 2015 at 8:00 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 62-15.
This is a resolution for the Main Street Business Alliance Incorporated for the 2015 budget.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 63-15.
Is a resolution authorizing a disabled veteran deduction.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 64-15.
Is a resolution authorizing a leave of absence without pay for 3 months for Thomas Jason Hart, who's a street repairer.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 65-15.
Is a resolution authorizing a refund for the Hackensack Youth Basketball registration.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 66-15.
Is a resolution designating Art Coster as a recycling coordinator and authorizing submission of recycling tonnage grant application.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
I have a question. Can I split the vote for the authorizing submission of recycling tonnage, yea, and resolution authorizing Art Coster as a recycling coordinator, nay? Is that possible, Mr. Attorney?
Defer to our counsel on that.
66-15.
What was the question, Rose?
Split the, because it kind of combines stuff, which I think is artificial. Or table it until we figure out.
Mayor, I don't see any issue with her splitting her vote on this.
Fine.
I think Jim wants to make a comment.
Yes.
I can tell you that the recycling tonnage application.
Come up, Jim, you better come up.
Well, first of all, you have to have someone that's certified as a recycling coordinator.
Yeah, that's the point.
Which Mr. Art Coster is the certifying person.
I understand that.
Which requires training and testing through the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, and the application for the recycling tonnage grant requires a municipal recycling coordinator. Okay.
Understood. Thank you.
And
Do we
I
have
believe,
anybody else?
I believe Ms. Greenman can authorize the tonnage grant, but not authorize the coordinator, so that if the coordinator doesn't pass, the council can then vote on a different person at a later date if necessary.
If it doesn't pass. Not a problem. Thank you.
Okay, so back to Councilwoman Greenman. You're voting
I'm
Voting no against
for
the
no
coordinator and
for
yes for the grant.
coordinator, and yes on the grant.
Correct.
Okay. Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Okay.
Resolution 67-15.
Is a resolution for the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Fiscal Grant Cycle, July 2014 to June 2019.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 68-15.
Is a resolution authorizing raffle licenses for the Columbians, Inc. and Heightened Independence in Progress.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 69-15.
Is a resolution for an emergency temporary appropriation prior to the adoption of the budget per NJSA 40A:4-20.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 70-15.
Is a resolution authorizing a change order number 2 to DLS Contracting for 2013 CDBG road resurfacing.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Before we go forward, I have a question to ask. Do we have a list of the streets?
On the 2013?
Oh, this is the, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This is from the worker, I'm sorry, you're right.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't recall that.
Right.
No
No,
new streets for this.
I'm thinking moving
Yeah.
forward.
I thought so too.
Not a problem. Go ahead.
Councilmember Greenman?
What are we voting on?
Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't
I don't even
start.
know what,
Didn't
yeah,
start.
let's
Didn't start.
start.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know what's going on.
This is Resolution 70-15, the resolution authorizing the change order number 2 for DLS contracting for 2013 CDBG road resurfacing. We have an intro with Councilmember Sims and a second by Deputy Mayor Canestrino. Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 71-15.
It is a resolution authorizing the release of escrow for 60 Burley's Court.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 73-15,
72.
72-15.
Is a resolution authorizing the transfer of the 2014 budget appropriations.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 73-15.
Is a resolution authorizing the establishment of a new petty cash fund.
Motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Can I have an explanation of what petty cash for?
Absolutely. Would you like to come answer that, Mr. Mangan?
He is the custodian of the fund. It's money that he is involved in, and I'll let him explain the fund.
Thank you.
Yeah, petty cash funds have to be approved by the state. And what it is exactly what David said. Incidental, small expenditures, they will eventually be charged off to the budget, okay? But initially, they're paid out in cash. The reason for this, I don't know if you recall, but earlier this year, we did a cleanup of the petty cash funds. And what had happened was, this petty cash fund was actually rescinded about, I think, 2 years ago. But the state hadn't updated their files. So when we sent the application down from the resolution we did in January, the state kicked back and said, no, you rescinded this. And I said, yeah, but it's still on your files. They say, yeah, we haven't updated our files yet. So now what we have to do is reestablish it, okay? But everything does get charged off to a budget, and it does get closed out at the end of each year.
Yeah, because I know we rescinded it, so it's like showing up again. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Need a roll call?
It's to me, or it's to
Well,
Mr.
no, I
Greenman?
have to start. Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 74-15.
Is a resolution authorizing the establishment of a reserve for preliminary expenses for the soccer dome project.
I have a question on this. We're calling it a soccer dome project. Last time we had a soccer field put in Hackensack, it was just that. It was only designated just for soccer. I want to make sure that this dome
You
is a
probably should,
multi-use,
it should be a multi-purpose. You're absolutely
Because-
correct.
you know, we have sports in this town that are shut off of that field, and it's not right. All
Why-
taxpayers pay for it,
Why don't you?
and
why
only
don't
soccer
you,
people get to use it.
You probably can amend the title.
I would, probably will.
I have a follow-up question, if I may.
Sure.
How expensive is it going to be, the preliminary study?
Well, a lot of study actually has been already done on this project as far as location, research into the Green Acres. There is permitting that would need to be done. This is like step 2 in that process. Step 2 in that process is actually going through and calculating and designing the project to be implemented, of which the staff will be very conscious with the designer of that facility, and we will bring it in hopefully under budget. What we need is the specifications in order for you to consider whether you want to go out for bonding or not.
So how much is it going to run us?
It's not
if you
to,
have-
the actual construction documentation will not exceed $100,000.
How much would the project itself run?
We're not sure yet.
Million, 10 million?
It could be several $1 million. Yes, that's correct.
Sports ball.
But an average turf field would be between $750,000 and $850,000, and then
A dome?
and then the covering, depending on what type of materials and what kind of base we use. So we're going to be looking at alternatives at that, so that we're looking at sustainability as well as cost. And right now, we do not know. So the person we select to do this for us will give us options, and then we'll be reporting back to you of those options, and you obviously will have input on that.
And what time frame do you project?
This should be completed this year, and if the council so chooses, I would anticipate potential construction in 2016.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Before we move forward, I'd like the word soccer removed and have it put as a sports dome.
Excuse me, Mayor, in order to amend it, someone needs to move to amend. We then need to vote to amend, and then vote on the amended
I
resolution.
would like to make a motion to move to change it to sports dome.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend the title of Resolution 74.
Let's back up 1 second. Am I allowed to make a motion on
Make
that?
the motion?
I don't believe I am.
I think someone else should make it.
I'll make it then. I'll make the motion to amend from soccer dome to sports dome. Someone seconded?
Okay, so we have a motion to amend the title of Resolution 74-15 to read, "The resolution authorizing the establishment of a reserve for preliminary expenses for the sports dome project."
I would say multi-purpose dome.
Okay, well, then we need,
What's your thing?
That's a multi-purpose because it's sports.
well,
Multi-purpose sports, maybe you gotta get it both in there, because you don't know what's a multi-purpose for.
Yeah, you have to have the word sports in.
Multi-purpose dome.
For what, though? You don't know it's for sports, you know it's recreation.
Well, you could actually,
Baseball and then you
Yes.
have soccer.
you could have baseball, you could have all the sports, but you could, my daughter would be very angry with me for saying this, but you could also have dance competitions in there, you could have gymnastics, you could do all kinds of things in there. The high school could use the facility for training in inclement weather. There's really a whole lot of wonderful opportunities that could come from this.
So should we call it a multi-purpose sports dome, or just a multi-purpose dome? What do you guys want?
Multi-purpose sports, multi-purpose dome.
Multi-purpose dome. Do you have to
Okay.
do it again?
Yes.
Let's do a motion.
I'll make a motion to change it to multi-purpose dome.
okay, so we have a motion on the floor to amend the title of Resolution 74-15 to read, "A resolution authorizing the establishment of a reserve for preliminary expenses for the multi-purpose dome project." And it was introduced by Deputy Mayor Canestrino, seconded by Councilmember Sims.
Okay.
And now we need a roll call. So Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Nay.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Okay.
Resolution 75.
I'm sorry, we now need to vote on
Now
the
we have to
resolution,
vote.
on the
That was to
amended
change the name.
resolution.
That was just a change.
That was just to change
Okay,
the
we need a
name.
motion for Resolution 74-15, please.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Nay.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 75-15.
7515 is a resolution authorizing the city of Hackensack to join the Somerset County Pricing Cooperative.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. I'd like to speak on this real quickly, if I may. The reason we're doing this is obviously, there's no cost to the city to join this cooperative. We had a situation this year, as I'm sure some of you may have noticed. There's a salt shortage in the Northeast, particularly in Bergen County. We are part of the Bergen County Cooperative, and we weren't able to get salt as needed in certain instances. And this will give us a second shot at getting salt. It also opens up the door for other things the city might be able to use. So and again, it's no cost to the city. Okay. Resolution 76-15.
Is a resolution qualifying the public defenders.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Resolution 77-15.
Resolution authorizing a board and commission appointment for the condominium and co-op unit owners advisory board of Gerald Weber.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Okay, and the payment of bills, I'd like to pull, if possible, because I know there's some questions on it. The bill for the, you know where it was in the
Yeah,
bills?
Dave, I handed it to Dave. He should have it open. It's the New York City payment for the,
We have a question, council has some questions on the payment of some bills to New York City that involve some of our employees. We just want to get some more details and get it straightened up before we move forward. All right, so if we could
there's
pull
two
that
of
out.
them. There's two of them. $548.21 and $75.
Right. There's two numbers. Clerk, there's 548.21
Okay.
and $75.
548.21 and $75?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. You're going to make me do math?
Yes.
Need help?
Kathy, you'll have it in about 30 seconds. Hold on.
623.21.
There you go.
You have to read, I don't have the total bills amount, though. You got to deduct
Okay,
it from the total bills. We have Jim here. He should be able to, got a calculator, Jim?
Okay. Okay.
I don't have the bills, the total bill.
The current fund where we're going to have to deduct this from
Oh, here we go.
was $2,688,879.73.
You gotta take 879.73 and deduct 623.21, right? So that's 2, 5, 2, right?
I don't know the updated.
All right, so the last three digits would be 256.52. That's at the current fund,
Yeah, 256.52.
52. Do I have to do the total too, or is that okay?
The total expenditures were $4,437,560.02.
We gotta subtract from that too.
So then you're going to subtract the 623.21.
02, we gotta take the 620.
688.
All right, so the last four digits of that, instead of 756,002, would be 693681.
What, 69?
36.81.
81. Okay,
Okay?
yeah, I think.
Okay. Resolution number 7815.
Okay, this is a resolution to authorize payment of the bills with the current fund now being $2,688,256.
Hold on, Deb, we need a motion to amend, he
Oh,
said.
I'm sorry.
I'm
May I
sorry.
have a motion to amend the bills, please?
I'll make the motion, offer the motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Okay, now we need a motion to
Now we need a
adopt.
motion to pay the bills.
That's just to read it first, and then,
Okay, motion.
Did you have to?
Well, you have to
No,
read the
I have to read it.
resolution.
I'm sorry. I thought
Sorry,
I was
Deb.
going to get away without reading all these numbers. The current fund now is $2,688,256.52. Grants is $2,414.91. Payroll is $1,633,861.74. The public parking system is $8,781.72. Capital is $40,107.20. Escrow is $22,810.80. The trust account is $40,703.92. Total expenditures now is $4,436,768. No, I'm sorry, I'm missing a number.
It should be 4,436,936.81.
93681. I was missing the 9. Okay, so it's
What is it?
$4,436,936.81.
Correct.
$936.81.
81 cents. Okay.
And the interfunds and transfers is $242,585.29.
Okay, thank you. Have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Sorry about the bills. but- Have a motion open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Aye.
Councilmember Sims?
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye. This time, anybody who'd like to speak, please come up to the podium, give your name and address to the clerk. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, my name is Richard Serbo. I'm on Spring Valley Avenue,
Good evening,
the
sir.
Spring Valley Speedway. Okay? Okay, I just want to start by saying so much for Robert's Rules. Oh my gosh, come on. This is incredible. And how many numbers really are missing, Miss Carlson? I mean, that was kind of a sort of a Freudian slip or faux pas of some sort. Okay, I just want to start by saying that last meeting we spoke about snow and ice and salt and snow removal, cars, trucks, but not one word was said about pedestrians, okay? Now, walking around this town is like walking around a wasteland, okay? And not only in winter, okay? It's not only in winter. This town is not a walking town. You want to build it into something beautiful, you need to sort of cater to pedestrians a little bit, okay? It's really an awful town to walk around in. There's so much commercial traffic. You're constantly getting a face full of, carbon monoxide. The worst polluters on the roads are the yellow school buses, okay? So somebody's keeping that diesel fuel and those buses running. It must be one of the plutocrats, you know? So as for Main Street, there's a demolition going on now, okay? And it's like a dead zone there, okay? And everybody was run out of there, I guess. With all those businesses run out, I mean, to gentrify that place. Now, is there any compensation to those people who were run out of there? There was one or two good businesses right where that building is being demolished right now. There was a very vibrant shoe and sneaker store there.
Across the street.
All right,
Okay.
please, no back and forth. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm glad Lenny interrupted because I want to thank Lenny Nix for enlivening the meeting. This has been a perfunctory, boring meeting constantly, and I commend him on being a great citizen and a free man to speak up the way he does. I admire him, okay? So, also, Mr. Trost mentioned that this year, all the contracts are up. So there's your opportunity to instill a 5-year moratorium on increases because you need it. Everybody needs it. This town needs it. And employees are paid high enough, and you know it. Everyone knows it. Stop increases, stop unnecessary, unquestioned increases every year. They're making enough for now. And that doesn't mean 5 years from now that they get to go back and, ask for all their retroactive pay, okay? That's also an opportunity for you. It may catch on. It may snowball, to use Mr. Trost's, one of Mr. Trost's winter words. And maybe all the towns will start to get smart and keep these salaries from increasing into the ozone, okay? Last thing is, it was brought up tonight, again, we need leadership and somebody with a little savoir-faire to convince all these other town leaders to contribute to this town. You need somebody to meet with mayors and councils of other towns to convince them to contribute to Hackensack, because it's the county seat of the richest, or one of the richest counties in the country, okay? So why not start meeting with some of those towns to encourage them to contribute? Also, the county, why not start a dialogue with the county to ask them to ease the pain on all these buildings they have that pay no taxes to us? That's a good step forward. And a couple of little petty things here. As for the petty cash, it seems like the mayor now has petty cash. Last week you told me there was no petty cash when I asked you to put a very inexpensive ad to show support for a local theater group. You said there was no petty cash. So now there is? Is that possible?
There was no petty cash, plus it's not the mayor's cash. This is through our CFO for...
So there was none, and now there is. Is that correct?
You're right. You're exactly correct. There was none, and now there is going to be, because we had to redo the resolution on that.
Okay.
Mr. Serbo, your 5 minutes is up.
Okay, last thing, just one last thing. I'm glad Ms. Greenman brought up questioning the price of the dome.
Please, Mr. Serbo, I cannot let you go over. All right? Your 5 minutes is up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, come on. Listen,
I apologize.
It's one last statement. It's one last
Passed an
statement.
ordinance for a reason. I'm sorry. Your 5 minutes is up. Mr. Serbo, your 5 minutes is up. We have other people waiting.
A mere $2 million creates
Mr.
80
Serbo,
jobs at 25
5
grand.
minutes is up, Mr. Serbo. Thank you. Next, please.
5 minutes is up.
Excuse me? Did you just say drop dead? Mr. Nix, one more outburst like that, especially a comment like that, that somebody should drop dead, you're going to be escorted out of here.
What's wrong with that comment?
Drop dead?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
They say it all the time.
Lenny, take a seat. Thanks.
They say it
I'm
all
giving
the
you, I'm
time.
giving you a pass on that one for now.
Oh, come on. Words will never hurt you. Sticks and stones.
Okay. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Perry Jackson.
Could you repeat your name, please?
Perry Jackson, a resident of Hackensack. And I just want to strongly encourage the city to support the library. That was going to be one of the things I was going to actually make mention of one of the previous council meetings that we had, yet I didn't make it to the last two ones that were part of my agenda to be at. It would help. Not only is it a library where it's government protected information and information that's very helpful, it's helped me in a great way to find companies that have both background information about the companies and the companies, how long they've been established, and it helps me to pursue things in ways that I can't online and internet-wise. The thing that it says Free Johnson Public Library as well as Johnson Free Public Library. it costs something to keep it maintained. It costs something to, manage everything there and pay staff and, keep things operating on a day-to-day basis. Nothing gets done freely, and I know that there's a cost factor involved. So I just want to encourage that if we can continue with that effort, then let us do so. There's another thing I wanted to make mention, which is energy and power. I'm not so-called an electrician specialist. I know very little about electricity. I just know some general stuff. But I did work at the Alpine 800-foot tower satellite transmitting and receiving station in Fort Lee many years ago. And there is a concern that if power goes out, from what I have researched online, if power goes out, what is going to be the alternative to having a power resource available? Some use generators, some will have some other seemingly sources of power, but out of urgency of emergency, we must consider what will be the option, if in place, needed for, hubs that are going to be necessary, whether it be the police station, the fire department, the EMS. You don't want an emergency to happen and, things going, not so much as planned. So I think, one, also, that you're also doing an excellent job at trying to keep order and decency and providing the open forum council for 5 minutes. That's, I'm hoping that will continue and resume, because whether it resumes in the next group of leaders or whatever, I think it's going to be essential that open meetings allow people to share their mind freely, yet not being intrusive or prohibitive to the meetings. And I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. Just come to get an update on the town, where it's at in its research and due diligence in reference to Tobacco 21.
Could you just give your name?
My name is James Irwin, 40 Jefferson Street, Hackensack.
Thank you, Mr. Irwin.
I had last spoke to the attorney, said he had a couple of questions he was looking into. I did give you a call. I didn't get a call back, but that's okay, because I don't want you to have to charge the town for that time. But I know you had an issue with the legality of the ordinance, and there's some law in the books that superseded or could call into question. Have you done any research? Do you still have that question in mind?
Mayor, am I right to answer? The mayor and council asked that our office pursue a few questions related to state preemption. We have prepared a memo. My understanding is that if it has not been circulated to the council, it is being circulated to the council for your consideration. That question has been put to bed on our end, pending any questions you may have. And to the resident, I apologize. I didn't notice I had a missed call, or I certainly wasn't intentionally ignoring it. If you
no, that's
if
not
you
what
call
I'm
the office,
inferring.
I'll get back to you. I apologize for that.
It's not a big deal. I'm just messing with you. So, Mr. Mayor, where do we stand?
What I'd like to do is, not this coming week, the second meeting in March, I'd like to put up for a vote to the council, if that's okay with the council. Is everybody good with that?
I'd like to urge the council to adopt it sooner.
No, it couldn't be
There is
adopted
no
before the next
preemption.
We haven't seen your memo yet. You say
I
you haven't
received the
seen it?
memo yesterday. Thank you so much. I did receive the memo. It was in the file.
As the council know, thank you, Councilman Greenman. Bogota passed it last week unanimously. I do not know what the vote was in Sayreville, but for the three towns thus far in Bergen counties, there's only been one abstention in the 3 towns. So
May I add something?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was a very nice mention of Assemblywoman Vanieri, who supported it wholeheartedly and made incredibly heartfelt comments about it.
Absolutely, they do have a
it was in the record,
statute
I believe,
in the
today.
oh, was it really? Oh, I missed that, and I worked there. Wow. But on another note, I just want to say this democratic process is beautiful. We live in a country that we all love and we all appreciate. Being a resident in this town for 10 years, maybe 10 plus now, I didn't always participate, although I participated in towns, in the area, Inglewood, Teaneck, and Hackensack. I am more active now in Hackensack. And I'll say this, it's beautiful that residents come out. More residents should come out. People should hold their council and mayor and leaders accountable. The leaders should hold themselves to a high standard. They should interact with the people that they serve at a higher rate than what they may or may not be doing at this point. But it's important for the council to know what's going on in their town. And although I was not at the forum yesterday, and I say this strictly out of love, because when I was some years younger, I would have said it differently. But there was some mention about some interaction, and I'm speaking of the police forum that was held yesterday in Paramus. There was mention of someone that was from Hackensack mentioned some interaction, and I don't think it was pleasant, and I think that the town should know that. They should look into it. I'm not going to speak on it, but I think the town should look into it. They should know what's going on in their town.
What forum was this at?
It was a police forum, the interaction between citizens and police. It was held in Paramus at Bergen, I want to say Bergen Community College.
And at what time?
I don't know.
Was it in the evening?
Yes, yes.
We were all here.
No, I mean, you could be here, but I heard about it, right? I heard about it. But if someone speaks of your town or said something happened in your town, you want to have some ears to the ground. You know what I mean? You can't just come to the meeting on Tuesday and hear people's complaints, because you're not going to hear everything. You got to ride out in the town. You got to ride out, speak to your residents. You got to shake hands and So no, I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm just saying that you got to do. You got to be doing that so you know what's going on. Because what happens is, somebody comes to me and say this happened, you're like, oh wow.
Okay,
then you have to react to it. So that's all I'm
sir,
saying.
when you're 5 minutes up.
I
Thank you for
appreciate
your
it.
time. Appreciate it.
Mayor and council, ladies and gentlemen.
How are
My
you,
name
sir?
is Pierre Gaylord, live in Hackensack.
I'm
I'd
sorry,
like to
could you
know
repeat your
the
name?
council,
Could you repeat your name again? I'm sorry.
Pierre Gaylord, Gaillard. To have you come to a conclusion about Standish Avenue, the snow emergency street, and what is the ruling? Because I've heard several stories. Presently, we still have a lot of snow on the street, and people are not moving their cars. They're not being ticketed, they're not being towed. I was told that they have to wait to 3 inches before they can remove cars. Now, if the weather report says it's going to snow, if it's a snow emergency street, there should be no cars parked on either side. Number 2, when they plow, they only plow one side. On that block, at the corner of Ames and Standish, since they didn't plow on that side, they ran into the house on the corner. Number 2, on Standish Avenue, let's say going from Polyfi to Summit, half of the block is no parking, and when you get to the top of the hill, it's parking on that same side, which is a continuous block all the way up. No streets come across. They're just on one side. What was it? Let's say Harper. From Harper to Summit, there's no parking. From Harper to Summit Avenue, you can't park on that same side. The Y2 ruling's on one side of the street. Now, I gave the city manager a copy of the street, and I'd like to know what he found out.
You gave me a drawing.
Yes.
I believe there were some questions on signs.
Yes.
Those signs have been, I passed that on to the police director, and he passed it on to the captain in charge of traffic. I believe those signs are now being manufactured, and they should be put up, the ones that were missing.
Or from that one side all the way up to the other end? So let's say we're going from,
Apparently, you had mentioned there were missing signs based on the ordinance.
no, the ordinance, I don't understand the ordinance because from Polyfly, let's say to Hopper, you cannot park on the right side. From Hopper to Summit, you can, but all on the same side. There's two rulings.
I misunderstood what you said, so I will check into that tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And I believe I have your phone and address on the map that I have on my desk.
I see.
Because I looked at it today.
Okay, because the reason as with the snow, and we're getting more and more cars, and what the problem is this, if you have a car parked on each side, it's supposed to wait to lose, it's two-way traffic. Myself, I was doing that, I hit a car, and the car hit me, the mirrors matched, hit, because of the space and the way the cars are. So if you're gonna have one part of the hill, no parking, and on the same side, on the top, the other direction, parking, what's going on? And all about the snow is another one. To me, I say, whenever they say snow, you don't park at all. There's still parking.
Is it a snow route, designated snow route?
Yes.
And it's snowing, they can be ticketed, that's correct.
Now they're saying you gotta wait till 3 inches. So I don't understand.
Who told you that, sir?
Police officer, I called the police station.
It is 3 inch.
I will
The
address.
desk guys told me they have to wait to have 3 inches.
I will speak with the police director.
Thank you. I'd like to know why Fairleigh Dickinson put up a building. One building is tax-free. The next building they had to put up by Hackensack rule, for what they're telling me, they had to be taxed. Well, Hackensack Hospital is taking how much property in Hackensack? And it's all tax-free.
That's not true.
What's
But
not
go
true?
ahead. They do pay some taxes, absolutely.
What percentage of the property they have?
I'm sorry?
What percentage of all the area to which they have, they pay
I'm just saying
taxes?
certain of their buildings on their property pay taxes. It's not totally tax-free.
Then I was misinformed.
20 Prospect pays taxes. The parking garages pay taxes. The hospital itself is tax exempt.
Okay. You answered so the main things to me, because to me it's a safety issue, and they're missing people on that hill is very dangerous.
Your time is up, Mr. Galliard, but I'm going to make sure, and traffic should investigate why the signs aren't on one side and not the other.
I will
'Cause
look into
That doesn't
that.
make sense to me either.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen.
Richard Solican, Hackensack, New Jersey. To follow up on something I started talking about before, debris. What I mean by that, you enacted the conduct of the meeting ordinance. And John, you caught it, like that first meeting was in effect. The way it reads now, the order of business is the last thing that should happen, according to the ordinance, is the public speaks. Now, it's not a life changer, but you need to change it. You need to change it. Make it right, because get a sense of perspective that there's going to be councils after you. It has to all make sense. The Director of Economic Development, repeal it. It's never going to be filled. Take ownership of it. Get rid of it.
I agree.
The consent agenda, my favorite. It still appears that it could happen. You haven't done a consent agenda, I think, in about a year and a half. I don't think you're ever going to do one again. Not because I suggested you done, but your new ordinance says you're reading them, the ordinances individually prior to vote. Make it go away. Direct your clerk to not put that in any more city council dockets. You're a council. You act as one body. No one has, before, what I saw take place with respect to Councilwoman Greenman's vote on the Mr. Coster and the report, if that was to be changed, something she didn't like about it, there should have been a motion to amend to break it out into 2 resolutions. She had no right to vote the way she did, and I think you have to count her vote as a no. She doesn't, it's majority rules up there. I assume the majority wanted that resolution in the form it appeared. She can't pick and choose. Finally, I wasn't able to attend your last meeting, and I note that Ms. Salva noted that I wasn't able to attend, and I thank her for noticing that. Mr. Trost, you indicated with respect to the situation with Councilwoman Greenman's using of her residence as an office in violation of the zoning ordinance that, quote, it was an ongoing discussion. Where are we with the ongoing discussion?
It's an ongoing discussion.
All right. You know, it's going to reflect on the council. No one up there should be violating the law. This is, you know, I don't even think that Burley has to get in there. I think she's convicted herself with what she has filed with the state Supreme Court, with the local finance board in terms of her disclosure. She says, that's my place of business. I make my money there. Your ordinance says she can't do it on the 14th or 17th floor, wherever she lives. She's violating the ordinance. To say it's an ongoing discussion, you're going to look the other way. I guess there's really nothing any of us out here can do about it, except we'll think about signing our own complaint against her.
Mr. Salkin.
Sir.
We are addressing it.
It's this has been a topic of discussion for a lot of months, Mr. Trost. You're a man of good faith. I will defer to you.
I've also been a zoning officer for almost 25 years, sir. There are sometimes different ways to gain compliance. Okay.
Well, from your lips to the Madam Justice's ear, and Mr. Servo, your mom, God bless her, may she rest in peace, ran that Department of Public Works. And for you to say that if she was here, she wouldn't be entitled to a raise, I don't know what to say to you. Shame on you.
No, she never did get a raise.
Never? In the 40 years?
No, she was held out of a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She did not benefit from a lot of increases by Mr. Stewart.
Regina DePasqua, Parker Avenue. Gentlemen? I'm confused by Resolution 7215. I don't know why we would even have salary and wages for animal control in our 2014 budget, because we don't have anybody that does that. So I hope it won't be in the 2015 budget, any line item for animal control salary and wages. We contract out, and that's what the $20,000 was in the previous. So can't have both. Let's tighten things up a little bit. The New Jersey Transit buses on Thompson. This morning, a fire truck had to get through there. Came down Thompson, and he made it. They made it through, made the left onto Prospect. That is an emergency route. It's easier for them to go that way than try to get through on Essex, okay? There was a bus parked there.
On Thompson this morning?
On Thompson this morning?
Because I actually went there this morning. Go ahead.
Okay. I go by there around 8 o'clock, 8:05. And he was making a left onto Summit from there, which is crazy. Crazy. Because that's no route, and there's no parking. Okay? But it is an emergency route for us. You might be wondering why I'm continuing to press this issue about what happened, personal city matter with Councilwoman Greenman. She blatantly attempted to humiliate, intimidate, silence me, and implicate me in a crime, okay? I got a problem with that, okay? She wanted me to just go away because she didn't want me to be here, okay? But I'm either stupid, stubborn, or extremely secure in my belief that that behavior should not be tolerated from an elected official. And I choose to believe it's the latter of that. But when I saw the city attorney billed for this issue, and how did it become a city issue? Because the city attorney wrote a confidential memo and made money on it. And who benefited from that? The city attorney got money, and Ms. Greenman got confidentiality on it. She benefited from it, my opinion. But last night, I'm sorry, Mr. Scrivo's never here consistently. Last night it was Mr. Scrivo, but you were here last night, Mr. Bisconti? I wish you'd get your own nameplate. And you were here last
Yes,
night and the week
please.
before. But the city attorney does not represent any individual council member, doesn't represent the council even, represents the interests of the city. What is best for the city? Not any one of these people, not these people as a group. And they're supposed to be working for the best interests of the city. So for this memo, this secrecy on all the MIOPA requests got blacked out, Ms. Greenman's emails should be revealed to me. Should be, okay? Because that's not attorney-client privilege. It's not anything, it should have been given to me, okay? But whoever redacted was of a different opinion. But she's being protected on it. Meanwhile, I am the one who was subjected to her malicious behavior. But what do I get? Nothing. I get nothing. I just get to come up here and keep reminding you how this happened, what happened, and that it should never, ever, ever be permitted to happen. I have gotten no satisfaction. I asked simply for an apology back from her. I sent an email July 9th, and I never got that because she publicly had my neighbors here, tried to discredit me. She really, what she did to me was despicable. All I asked for was an apology. I got no reply from anybody. I think the residents deserve better. I think I deserve better. And I don't think such behavior should be allowed. And I think my OPA request should have been honored in full. And I asked for clarifications of all of the redactions, each and every one of them. Okay? I agree, though, with one thing that we should raise the age to purchase cigarettes. That's an important thing. And I'm glad you're considering to get it on a vote. And as far as the apartment, office, whatever, I don't know what there is to discuss. It's pretty much black and white. I don't think you even need to go into and inspect it, because what are you going to see? You're going to see maybe she's got a messy apartment, maybe she's a hoarder. What are you going to see? You know? Just handle it.
Thank you.
Just handle it, please.
Thank you. Mr. Pasco, your 5 minutes is up. Thank you. Next, please.
Chris Coley, again with the budget.
Could you repeat your last name, please?
Coley,
Coley.
I see now we're gonna spend a dome, more taxes. How many other towns in Bergen County or in the state of New Jersey have such a thing? When my child went to school here, all three of them, they played indoor sports in the wintertime in one of the schools. I think it was good enough then, and it's good enough now. Now, my main point for being here, I read in the paper that the city of Hackensack is throwing another almost $200,000 at the Cultural Center on State Street, with a proviso that Mr. Lombardo, who we're going to name that park after, is going to maybe give us some money. And now there's a provision in there, if we don't put in paver stones that he wants, he ain't going to give us nothing. Maybe we should put it to Mr. Lombardo. How much are you really going to give us? When are you going to give it? And how much money has the city lost in meters right now for work that can't be done, for an outdoor thing that's never going to be used? It's nice that he can drive home to Wyckoff that doesn't have a main street, and I bet if they don't have a nice park to go sit and listen to music at night. The city owns a mobile stage that they could bring there whenever you needed to put a performance on. Why we're building a permanent one there, I have no idea. And again, with the thing down the park, I assume you're gonna build it in Fashini Park. There is no parking at Fashini. You can't build it in, I'm sorry, Fashini Park, we're selling off the parking lot, so I guess we're not gonna do it there. It must go to Johnson Park, that has no parking at all for an indoor event And how many Hackensack students or school things will be used in a building that's going to need new storage, new glass going to it, new electric going to it? And who's going to pay for this round the clock? I assume in the summertime we're going to air condition it. In the wintertime we're going to heat it. Do we have any estimates on how much one of those things is going to cost the taxpayers year round? And I believe we're above the 2% cap now. I heard that the cap is going to, you're asking for the state to let us go up to 7.6. How many? And then you have one guy that comes to all these meetings and says all the residents in this town, businesses included, want the smoking to go to 21. Why don't we put it on a referendum and let the voters vote for it? When are you going to really ask the store owners if they're going to want to lose that kind of business? Because if it was a wonderful idea, the county would have enforced it on all the towns, and so would have the state. Who's going to enforce that ordinance? Before, it used to be the health department. We used to take a 16-year-old student, go out and try to catch people selling the cigarettes. Who's going to do it now? The police? Is that what the police are needed for? Ortega is doing a terrific job bringing down crime. I don't think that's a crime. I think the parents should know when their children are smoking, like mine did. When I smoked, my mother smelled it immediately. I didn't need a law to tell me I couldn't buy it. It didn't work for tobacco. It didn't work for alcohol. It doesn't work for drugs, but we're going to push ahead and upgrade it for tobacco. Why? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Paul Incalcaterra. I'm a First Ward resident. I have a question as far as the building on, the reconstruction or construction in Hackensack on Main Street. I noticed they tore down one of the buildings on Main and Mercer, or that approximately that area. But that building on Mercer Street, the bank building, is that going to remain?
No.
Oh, okay. It seemed kind of funny that they took one building that was in between down.
Got to be a method to their madness. I don't have an answer, but that whole
okay.
from 150 to 170
Yeah,
is
it's gonna be all
from that alleyway to the corner of Mercer.
Okay. Well, I was happy to see some construction going on.
Yeah, it's the beginning.
And it was positive. Okay, and that made me feel good. I've been here, let me see, I've been in Hackensack, I guess, about 55 years, so I'm glad to see some change occurring. Can you give me an update on what's happening with the Cultural Arts Center?
I'll leave that to the city manager.
We are looking at the cost of implementing.
Excuse me 1 second. Did you have more, Paul, or you want him to answer you now? Because he's on your 5 minutes.
Yes, okay, he can do it. I have one other question.
Why don't you make the other question?
Oh, okay, the other question, or the other comment is I want to make sure, first I want to say thanks for the council for keeping a leash on one of the individuals who runs the recreation department, and the courtesy that I've gotten of keeping the noise low or no noise or very little noise, and I hope you will continue with that. The next 3 months, according to this schedule here, is loud musicals every month for 2 weeks out of each month. And if they take out that PA system and they don't use the drums and they are told to behave themselves, it becomes a lot better for me. So I hope you will look at this March, April, and May and see what says loud here and continue to do whatever you've been doing, especially the nice job Mr. Sims is doing. And I appreciate your help. Okay.
The staff will be making some recommendations to the council, most likely at the March 10 meeting, concerning the opportunities to upgrade the current facility to allow actually productions to occur and events to occur at the Cultural Arts / Performing Arts Center at the historic Masonic Temple. It is currently opened on the first floor. We'd like to get it opened on the second floor so that cultural and arts will be brought back into the city center, which is a key ingredient for a successful downtown. The Upper Main Street Alliance is working with a consultant. It's called Creative Placemaking, and one of the keys is bringing cultural and arts and performing arts to our downtown. The other, believe it or not, they just passed an ordinance, and we hope to have a microbrew in town.
That's a good idea.
It's would be crafted, and I think that maybe one of the beers could be named after Chief Oratan.
Sure, Chief Autumn.
Yeah, that's right. So to answer you, more is coming. I don't have all the information yet to give the council.
Okay, what does it look like in terms of maybe having that center up and running in terms of
It's totally going to depend on the city council.
Yeah.
My recommendation is to try to get it open as soon as possible, but there obviously has to be some expenditures on ingress and egress, and some seating and some rearranging and construction of a stage.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else like to speak? Seeing none, motion to close. Was he up already? Remember.
No.
Was Mr. Nix up already for public?
Not for this, no.
Go ahead.
Get out of his way.
Go ahead, Mr. Nix.
You don't want to listen to me?
Yeah.
Say it. If you don't want to listen, tell me you don't want to hear me.
Bring it on, Lenny. Come on.
But I really don't like being here. Because I get nothing done here, and the politics just keep steamrolling us to hell. This bag is full. This bag got Main and Mercer. And why can't that bank building on Main and Mercer stay up? I'm in contract, and I went through the routine last night. I'll match my brains, back, and everything I got left against any contract in the state of New Jersey. Why can't that bank building stay? Mayor.
Yes, you want me to answer now, or you want to
Yeah.
finish? Because you're on the clock.
It'd take 10 minutes to answer this.
It's not on the historic rolls. The bank sustained major damage because there was no maintenance on the bank for over a decade. It was structurally unsafe. Many reasons. Many reasons.
And you got any engineer reports? Who gave you those reasons?
I don't have to. I saw the reasons with my own eyes as
I did
bricks
that with my own eyes.
as bricks fell off the building right in the middle of our Main Street festival.
That's because that's not a problem.
It's not an historical site, Mr. Nix.
You can save a tree.
Yes, you
can.
can.
Save a lamppost. You can save anything you want. Any city has it. It's in the master plan. It's in the Main Street redevelopment. It's in the state plan. I'm taking you to court on that building. I'm taking him to court. I got the papers here. There is no reason they demolished the building next to it with that 4-story building up. The city manager, the police department said no problem. They could demolish a building next to a building that you seem that's going to fall down. That thing didn't move an inch. I've been there sometimes 3-4 times a day. I was there today. Finally, nobody's around. But once I got out of the car, I imagine guys are going to throw bricks at me and something. I've been through this crap before. Some of those guys are real son of a guns, okay? Pushed around, throwing stuff at when I go there because they know what I'm there for. I'm there to tell them they're screwed up, and they know they're screwed up. That building can be saved. I'm going to court with it. You give them 2 extra floors. I'll stand under that building till the day I die. There ain't nothing going to happen to it. If any building, 3 bricks fall, you're going to condemn it. There's a million on Main Street. There's one I saw like 2 years ago, the brick was right when they come through the door. I ain't going to tell the building department because they don't want to listen to me. They got a bunch of geniuses there. The city manager's a genius. He had no input on that building. He always sits around with a smirk on his face like he knows everything. City managers are a dime a dozen. And we've been through a ton of them already.
Mr. Nix, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Do you believe in the U.S. Constitution?
Yeah.
under property rights, if that owner owns that property, he has the right, because he owns it, to use that property as he sees fit under the laws and regulations of the state of New Jersey, the city of Hackensack, and the United States of America. He followed all the proper rules and regulations, got all the permits that he needed, and therefore, sir, he has a right to construct what he has.
You follow these two things, and it'll tell you that there's certain stipulations you have to do on Main Street. Don't tell me the Constitution. Don't tell nothing about the Constitution. You got zoning, you got master plans.
And that is based on the Constitution.
You gotta be kidding.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Everybody's got a right to use the land. No.
Yes, they do.
Are we on time there, Jeff?
You go by the river,
minutes?
you gotta stay by the river, you gotta build a walkway. You're totally out of order. And I want to put that on the record. He does not know what he's talking about, guaranteed. And the U.S. Constitution has nothing to do with Maine and Mercer. That building can stay. It's been here. Nobody has done any historic survey on it. Nobody's done, I got as much as you can on it. You know what this is? Toilet paper. They got nothing on that building. You have done nothing on the building, and the council has done nothing on that building. I will spend money to the day I die till they knock that building down. And if he knocks that building down, it's going to be the worst thing he ever did. It's going to be the worst thing you did. It's going to be the worst thing Main Street redevelopment did. Because if that's the way we're going to develop Main Street, I don't want it. It's not doing nothing for me, not doing nothing for anybody here. What I saw, that building looks like it belongs in Miami. There are no plans approved. The guy can knock the building down like they did by Eval Oil by the river.
Okay, Mr. Nix, your time is up. Thank you.
Like they did on an all
Mr. Nix, your 5 minutes is up. Thank you.
And we can walk tomorrow.
Mr. Nix, your 5 minutes is up. Please respect.
Out of order, is going down the wrong way. Somebody's got to stop you.
Mr.
Take
Nix.
them to court, take
Officer,
you to court, and you start looking for a job.
Your 5 minutes is up,
I don't want you running
Mr.
my
Nix.
town. Guaranteed.
Okay.
I don't want you in my town. You don't even live in town. And you're going to tell me, you're going to be here 90 years, you're going to tell me what to do?
Don't fix the TV channel.
And hell freeze it over.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
We don't want to see that on public TV.
See it any way you want. I'll say it again tomorrow.
All right. Enough. Enough. Anybody else? Excuse me. Enough. Anybody else like to speak?
Go to crack.
Motion to close to the public?
Offer.
Never open to the public. Second. Listen to the public. Got an agenda, and that's what it's going to do.
Lenny,
Don't thank me. I'm asking.
I'm not thanking you.
Disappear.
Go home. Thank you.
I get thrown out? Huh?
Where were we?
We have
Seconded?
We have a motion that was introed by Deputy Mayor Canestrino, seconded by Councilmember Sims to close the public comment.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay. Comments from the council, Mrs. Canestrino?
Yes, I'd like to, thank our city manager and our CFO for the work on the salary ordinance that now has been finally adopted. A lot of work and sweat and tears went into that. I know there are a lot of questions tonight about salary increases and how that's going to affect. Hold on, I'm on the budget committee as well, and in March, we'll be introducing the first, yes, in March. We'll be introducing the first.
The manager will be handing over the budget to the city council.
In March. Okay, so, I know everyone is, the CFO, the city manager, the department heads, everyone is working diligently to do the best they can for the city residents, and I'm sure we'll see good results in March. Concerned about the sewer fees, please make an appointment, come in, speak with Mr. Trost. We're willing to work with you. There's issues in town. The whole basis of this, I don't want to repeat what I said before, but the whole basis of this rehab zone was to do this upgrade to these sewers. So it's something that needs to be done, and it certainly will be an asset not only to us, but to where your development's going to be. And we look forward to increased development, so please stop in and work with us. We're very open-minded. A couple of questions, I guess, Mr. Coley, about the Arts Center and what's happening there. I take you back, and I know we've talked about this a lot, but we have a plan for the downtown and for the rehabilitation, and the Cultural Arts Center and portion of that is a key part of the redevelopment of our downtown, and it's critical to the success of the development community. We need to have a reason to be bringing people to our downtown after 4 o'clock, right? And we need to start that association, you know, and when people come to see something, you know, they may stop before for dinner, they may stop after for an ice cream, they may say, I like it here. We hope they say, I like it here. We bring them here, it's our job to keep them here. Right, but we need to start bringing them here and bringing them to the right location, and this is critical to our success. As far as the partnership with the Alliance, this is a wonderful thing. I mean, the Alliance has already started raising funds towards helping the city in some of these initiatives, and this is something that we should all be very happy to hear, that the development community is working with the Alliance in support of the rehabilitation zone, the rehabilitation plan. This is good, positive feedback. This is what the folks of this town should be wanting to hear and wanting to see. This is critical to our success. As far as the dome, I wish Mr. Battaglia was here because he's the expert on these multi-use domes. Yes, Dave, maybe Dave could talk a little bit about it, but he is the expert. And I mean, we promised, one of our campaign promises was to do something for our children. Is we know that the recreational facilities in this town have been overlooked for many, 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 many years. And what the splash park that was put on Powerfly Road is something that is used, overused. I mean, the kids love it, the parents love it, it was wonderful. And, you know, we're moving now to another part of town, putting it into the Carver Park area, and we're hoping to eventually even do a third location at some point in time. It's going well, it's something for our kids in the summer, it's clean, it's good, and we made that commitment and we're following through on that. As far as putting a multi-use sports dome, I mean, we have the youth of this town. I mean, soccer is a huge thing in this town right now. That cannot be played outdoors in the winter months. I mean, we have some of our football players that want to use off-season and be able to use a field such as this to stay in shape, to be competitive like other towns. Why shouldn't our children have this? I wish Leo was here. I mean, he has visited other towns that have these type facilities. And I wish I had the information, but when he comes back, come back and let him give you that information because he has done that work. There will be batting cages in there, you know, so they can practice their baseball skills. This is a facility that I think our children deserve this. Our residents deserve something like this. And I think it's wonderful that we're taking the time and the opportunity to look into something like this. As part of this study, another piece that we're looking into is a return on investment for this, because Mr. Battaglia has done a lot of work here as well. There's a lot of adult leagues that are looking desperately and rent these places all over. I mean, I know there's one in Carlstadt. Let me say, because I know that one that we've seen. I know there's one in Carlstadt, and I can't remember where else, but I know there's definitely one there. Where?
Waldwick.
And one in Waldwick. So they are in other towns in Bergen County. And these, there's more. I wish he was here. He's the expert, Chris. You know, finance is my thing. I'm trying to get into the sports arena because I'm trying to fill in for my councilman who's on vacation, okay? But I'm the person that likes to look at the financials. And there is a good mechanism there where these adult leagues rent these types of facilities at a decent price. And, you know, and we could use that income to maybe help support the maintenance. Right, that's part of the analysis, exactly.
What's the liability to the town for insurance?
When the analysis is done, we're going to be able to answer all your questions, I promise you. That's why we're funding this study. What is it going to cost us? What's our return on our investment? And what are we doing for the community? We promised to do something for the community. Our kids deserve this. Our parents deserve this. And it's something that, why shouldn't we have it? Why shouldn't we have it? You say, okay, what was good enough years ago? You know, our kids, I've been lived in the same house for 42 years, so our kids grew up here too. But this is the state of the art. This is what's happening today, and why shouldn't our children have it that other towns have it? And that's why we're looking into it. I hope I answered your questions. Thanks, everyone, for coming. I hope I didn't miss anything. If so, you have more questions, you can see me afterwards. Have a safe trip home and stay warm. I hate this cold weather.
Mr. Sims? Good. Ms. Grayman?
I'd like to thank Jim Mangan and recognize his incredible amount of work, quality work that he had done on the salary ordinance, and me not voting in it is not a reflection on your incredible work. I have some other issues that were not answered to my satisfaction, not responded to my satisfaction, and therefore I can't vote on it. As to the dome, I think that many a times we had residents coming in and saying that a pool was promised, and has been in works for years and years, and it just never materialized. So I think a better investment would be to have a pool for children, for parents, for residents to use, and benefit from sunshine and some summer recreation, and busy during the summer, so they are staying away from things that are not so good for them. I'd like to comment on Mr. Servos about pedestrian walkways in the snow. I noticed the same thing. There are a whole series of, mostly I noticed it on Prospect and some of the cross streets. The pedestrians are having real difficulties negotiating it, and also the bus stops. People are climbing over snow on Polyfly Road, trying to board buses. So that's a real problem. It has to be looked into. Lenny Nix is gone, but I'd like to commend him for feeling so strongly about the issues that he brings forward. It's a good thing for democracy to have this kind of a discussion. This man comes in, and although he has his own preferences, he's a voice, and we should listen to it. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Library is extremely important, and I agree with you. So having money taken away from the library and then putting in a dome, it just does not make sense. We're having difficulties with the budget, and let's hope we can resolve it to everybody's satisfaction, but I have my reservations on it. Mr. Irwin, if you're still here, I commend you again for your civic responsibility, and I think there were quite a few leaders speaking out in agreement with having the age of tobacco use raised to 21. Mr. Galar, thank you for bringing, again, these issues of safety in vehicles not being moved. And I've noticed quite a few vehicles, especially on some of the streets below Prospect. It's extremely difficult to navigate. I stopped by to visit a bunch of friends last week or so, and it's impossible to get in the driveway, and it's impossible to get out of the driveway. I have no idea how people manage it. It took me 5 minutes going back and forth, inching my way out of a driveway. And I feel for the people, going. I don't know what can be done at this point because the weather is so cold and we can't do it. But something should have been done. Something has to be considered, some kind of a plan has to be put in action. Mr. Calcaterra, you're always wonderful, and you always say the right thing, and you're always very pleasant, and even when you disagree so nicely. It's a pleasure. Mr. Colley, the same thing. I thank you all for coming on this cold day, and actually participating in this democracy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Serbo, I understand your passion for a pedestrian-friendly city, but I have to disagree with you on, I understand with your bus issue. You live on a bus route, so obviously that could be annoying as far as buses going by you. But I don't know what your solution would be on that, except for taking buses, eliminating that as a bus route, which now makes Hackensack citizens unavailable to mass transit, which means they're losing money, they can't get to work, they have to take their car, whatever.
Buses are all empty after 8:30. They're all empty.
But they have to go from one place to another. They just don't drop off their last passenger and sit there. They have to go back. I understand what you're saying. School buses. What, do we eliminate transporting students? I don't know what the answer for you is, Mr. Servo. Obviously, I understand your concerns. with pedestrian safety and you know, the noise and the pollution. But we live in a city.
Yeah.
In a,
Why not?
this isn't a
phase
rural
these
neighborhood. This
buses
is a
out?
city.
Phase these buses out. Talk to Mr. Trost for some.
That's not the city's responsibility. We don't own these bus companies. These are privately owned enterprises and bus companies that are operating within state and federal and city laws. You just can't say, hey, you own a bus that pollutes, we're closing you down. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did sometimes, but it doesn't.
So
I'm just making a point. I'm looking for solutions to some of the things you've been saying, and I don't know what they could possibly be.
Do you talk to other levels of government? Do you?
Yes, I do, actually. Then my next comment was your thing about having the county pay. That was my thing back when Jack was mayor, all right? And,
So what
you know,
happened?
I always likened it to a Sunday night card game at somebody's house, all right? And the house being Hackensack, and usually when a bunch of guys get together and have a card game, somebody brings something to the card game. Somebody brings some chips, some pizza, some beer, soda, whatever. Well, Hackensack has the party every week and nobody brings anything. That's always been a problem. But you know what? I brought it up in front of senators. I brought it up in front of the state Senate leader. I brought it up in front of a whole room full of Bergen County mayors. And I was scoffed at for it because their answer is, well, you know, we go, it's not my town, all right? Don't expect my taxpayers to pay for your issues. All right, you're the county seat. You should be dealing with the county. And that was the answer. I mean, believe me, I'd love to get money from every municipality for us being the county seat because our roads get a lot of wear and tear.
Be charming.
Be charming. It's not that easy to do that. But I understand your concern. I agree with you on that. To Mr. Jackson, who's no longer here, so of course we support the library. We support the library to actually over $900,000 more than the state requires us to. And we will continue to support the library. It's a beautiful building. It's an important part of this city. Because some cuts were made, we're being fiscally responsible. Doesn't mean we don't support our library. One has nothing to do with the other. Energy and power was brought up by Mr. Jackson. Especially for Office of Emergency Management, which we have a new one. That is run by a generator should anything happen. Our police and fire and ambulance would work out of that emergency facility that was been built. It's right outside. And without a glitch, if we lost power, we'd be up and running and be able to keep everybody in the city safe and run a safe management program from there. Mr. Irwin, I know he's gone, but we will address, we'll put that up to a vote, whether it's the next meeting or the following meeting. I have no issue with when we put that up to vote. Mr. Galliard, I'm all behind you. Emergency routes should be, the cars should be cleared, but I think there is a 3-inch rule, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you can't expect people, if they get 2 inches of snow, to move their cars, okay, and panic. There has to be some number created where, hey, this is going to be, you know, a plowable storm, and you got to get your car off the street. I agree, and I think that they're there. They should be ticketed, and it's something we need to work on to make sure that gets done. Where else are we? Rich, the moratorium on salaries. I wish it was that easy, but there's contracts. There's you know, they're out there. It's not that easy to put a 5-year moratorium on salaries. Mr. Salkin, still here? I agree with you 100%. On the consent agenda, if we're not going to do it, might as well take that part out. We don't need to look at it.
Which, by the way, is a shame. I mean, it's a shame. A lot of these routine resolutions,
Well, I think it's because it's.
Back and forth?
I'm sorry.
Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay because this is my part and I'm speaking with a resident. Please. Lost my train of thought. Sorry, sir.
The consent agenda.
The consent agenda. I believe it's because of our form of government and nothing more than that. If it were a different form of government, we could have a consent agenda. I realize that now. But they did have it for years and nobody said anything, so.
I promise you, I quietly used to yell at the prior city attorney saying, you can't do this. Well, no, we're going to do it.
Okay. Mr. Pasqua, this morning at 7 o'clock, I drove down Prospect towards Thompson. There were no buses on Thompson. I actually pulled, but there were 2 buses parked on Prospect before Thompson facing west, or I'm sorry, facing south, and both parked on Prospect without a service signs. which I found a little bit unusual. They could have just as easily been on Thompson. These were heading westbound. They obviously weren't coming from Prospect. These were on Summit. I will make a habit out of driving that route on my way to work in the morning instead of going down the other way. Mr. Coley, again with the dome, this is a study. We did promise to do, look into several things. We promised to look into a pool, which we did some studies on a pool. And a pool can be done, but it is a big liability issue.
In the summertime, we used to open up the high school pool to all the city.
I know there was a.
Children learn to swim there.
Correct, and that's.
We don't have to build a new one. And one of your big promises was to lower or taxes. And so far, boy, we are spending.
Well, we're working on this redevelopment to try to stabilize. I don't know if you ever see taxes lowered, Mr. Coley. I got to be honest with you, I was a little taken back with the Jerry Lombardo comment, whether you like the man or not. The park's not being named after him. There's been no decision written in stone on who that park's being named after, but it won't be named after Mr. Lombardo. I can probably almost guarantee it. I don't think he even would consider that. But like the deputy mayor said, he has gone out on his own, met with developers, and he's raised a considerable amount of money to put towards that park from the Main Street Alliance. That's something the city can't do. So that's, kudos to him. And Johnson Park, I know we had the discussion, that's most likely where we were looking to put this thing. It's one of the only places it probably could go. I have questions about this dome, but I think could be a viable resource. I'm a football guy, I'm not a soccer guy. I can honestly tell you, Hackensack Junior Football, we're a football town, all right? Hackensack Junior Football has no home. They don't have a home. They don't have their own field. Like, I traveled all over the state with these kids to these beautiful fields, and Hackensack doesn't have junior football, does not have a home. All right, now they play at the high school. They're at the mercy of, of whatever. We used to play at Fashini Park and on the 13-year-old field at night under the lights with all the goose, you-know-what, on the ground. So, our kids deserve, some quality sports facilities, and that's what we're looking at. And that's about it. I want to thank everybody for braving this crazy cold weather. I hope it breaks soon. It's, March is Sunday. What's that?
Tomorrow night, Main Street.
Oh, yes, tomorrow night we're removing the snow off of Main Street. We would have done it sooner, except we're notified by our superintendent of DPW that we were short on salt. There was a salt shortage. We weren't able to get enough salt to do it when we wanted to. And it takes a lot of salt just to remove, believe it or not, when you remove that snow off of Main Street, it's done with bucket loaders. A lot of snow goes on the street. You have to be able to salt it when you're done, or else you create a safety hazard. But tomorrow night,
Yep.
yes, anybody, do not park on Main Street tomorrow night or you will be towed. So giving you, everybody out there a heads up on YouTube land.
You should all be in bed at that time, too.
Yes.
After midnight.
And one more quick thing. I am excited about the demolition of 150, 170 Main Street. I drove up Main Street tonight and saw daylight to my right, and I'll be glad when that's gone. I understand Mr. Nix's passion for that older building, but that building was, if that building had been maintained through the years, it might have been saved. But it was beyond repair inside. I've been in that building. The damage was incredible inside. It leaked for over 10 years. There was absolutely no maintenance on it whatsoever. So thanks again for everybody coming, and see you at the next meeting. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to close.
Offer.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia is absent. Deputy Mayor Canestrino?
Here. Aye.
Councilmember Sims? Aye. Councilmember Greenman?
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus?
Aye.
Dave, you have that in your packet. Oh.